And then the first thing you hear, and by the way, this is May 22nd. Mark that date down, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it will be, the Who Killed WCW 4-part docu-series is coming up on Vice in the Dark Side of the Ring slot Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern from our friends Evan and Jason. And I understand it's going to be also known as Blame-a-Palooza. But mark down May 22nd, 2024, because I think this is where they will start when they go the end times of AEW. I don't know if this was the shark, but it may have been the start of the shark jumping. And again, with all the stuff we've been talking about and the dropping ratings and people...
No, you know what? The shark jumping was the CM Punk video from All In. It's all been downhill since then.
Well, you may be right. It's been a steady descent.
I'm not even just saying that like, oh, it was a big moment. No, statistically, it's all been downhill since then.
But this is it. They're just now they're having fun with it while it's burning. It's like they're making fun of how bad it can be, or they can make it. The first thing we saw, they're sucking hind tit bad to the opposition, and their answer again is to make the amateur bullshit clown the first thing that you see. I'm sorry, but Jefferson Starship is not a hot enough band in this day and age to get people to stay tuned to this when they see this fucking guy moping to the ring with his fucking face on. And then here comes the best wrestler in the world, the multi-million-dollar acquisition. The grinder himself, all the way from across the pond, Will Ostrich, comes out in his ostrich feathers. So he's secondary to... the first thing we see, wouldn't he be the big fucking star? But no, it's the guy that the owner dressed up as at Halloween. And then out comes Ostrich, who's not there to kick the shit out of the guy that sticks his hands in his pockets. They've made them partners. Now they are partner. You remember that hot tag team of Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Brooklyn Brawler. And actually, I'm sorry, that's an insult to the Brooklyn Brawler. He could work. He was a nice man. And they're partners, and they're maybe being managed, although we don't know, by the evil heel manager Don Fallis, who calls both guys while he's sitting on color my guys. And he does manage Ostrich, who's the most popular guy in the company. So he's managed by the heel manager. And Fallis was whispering to Pockets and put his arm around him last week on TV. So these two baby faces are going to wrestle Roderick Strong and Trent. And with Taven and Bennett in the corner, being completely wasted as, they would never mean anything again now in wrestling after being exposed on this television like they have been. So I will recap the situation here. The newest high-priced sign talent, the best in the world, is teamed with a comedy goof against two guys that have... Roderick Strong is the best worker in the match, in my opinion, but he's totally useless now due to the way that he's been presented since he's been here. And the other guy is a comedy goof at best. And again, Trent now and his mother and the minivan and whatever. No. So they've stuck their top guy in with preliminary guys. It would be if the team was Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Brooklyn Brawler, they're wrestling Kai and Tai. And why do they put him in these positions? Because it means something for both of the pay-per-view matches. Not only Ostrich and Roddy, where Ostrich wins a title that they made up a while back that nobody gives a shit about. And also Pockets is going to have his blood feud with Trent because they're not best friends anymore. So they're burying our boy Will here into all of this fucking indie level bullshit. And did you hear Don Fallis do my line?
No, what did he say?
What did I always say about Paul E? I always said
bald,
Paul E.
He's fat. What you said?
No, not recently. What I've said for years before he was bald and fat. Paul E would rather climb a tree and tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. And Fallis did it about Trent. But anyway, I have a hard time trying to critique this like a legitimate match because it would dignify the bad joke. But at the bell, the instant four-way on the floor and in the ring, 2 dives within 30 seconds. On fast forward, it looked like they were letting the mascot do all his goofy shit. That's where I first saw the Cornette is God sign. And I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit and the overall sentiment that the gentleman who was holding it was expressing, but I don't think I'm God because I really exist. But we know where you were going with that. And finally, Ostrich dives on Taven and Bennett out on the floor, and here comes Wardlow. I forgot he was still there. Has he still been there? Is he hurt? What's the matter with him?
I don't know.
Well, he just showed up and he leveled Will. And then...
Remember, this was the lead heel stable after they turned on MJF. It was the Devil and his henchmen.
Well, the Devil went back to Georgia because he was looking for time to heal.
Devil went back to Britt Baker.
And she's probably now thinking, I should have stuck with dentistry. But Wardlow comes out and he levels Ostrich and throws him in the ring. And then he was just a guy that was holding people from that point. And Trent and Roddy were double teaming pockets and they pinned him 1, 2, 3. And then all the heels got on Ostrich. And then Roddy hits him with the title belt and he gets color. He gets bleeding a gusher. Again, this is supposed to be their new guy. If they're not crazy, he's going to be winning the world title some kind of way at Wembley Stadium. And he's bleeding. They're beating the shit out of him too, underneath fucking heels. And Trent choked out pockets, and Roddy gave a big backbreaker to Ostrich, and they left him laying a bloody fucking mess. Your thoughts?
I don't really watch Orange Cassidy matches. I don't care who they put him in there with, so I didn't pay too much attention. And I think part of the problem is that a lot of the other former viewers or viewers of AEW feel the same way, and the ratings have bared that out. And for some reason, Tony keeps going back to this like it's his mantra. I didn't really pay too much attention. Also want to say, we're going to do our best behind the scenes, but there will be some audio issues on Jim's end that we're currently dealing with. So I just want to let everyone know we're aware of them and we are working on them.
It's all my fault. It's always Spectrum's fault. I'm paying for everything I can goddamn pay for. They can't charge me anymore for the goddamn internet that they're providing me than what they do now.
But, Ospreay is a star. Ospreay's great. And he was in there with Orange Cassidy, who I think a lot of fans are sick of. Trent Beretta, who no one really cares about. Now he's feuding with Orange Cassidy. And who was the other person? It was Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, part of the Devil stable. Adam Cole's not even there. No one takes any of this seriously. No one took him seriously ever since he was in a wheelchair screaming out people's names. Not good. Not a good way to start the show.
And you know what? I just realized this. Bobby Eaton had a superstition. Bobby Eaton would never sit in a wheelchair. If guys were doing wheelchair races with some straight wheelchair in the back, no, he'd fucking jump away from it. If it was the only place to sit and both his legs were broken, he would not sit in a fucking wheelchair. Because he would say, you're going to burn the bread on yourself, which means you're going to jinx yourself. Well, there Roderick Strong did the goddamn wheelchair bit in that group all that time. Adam! And Adam Cole ended up in the wheelchair For real. There's something going on there. You can't tell me there's not something going on there, Brian.
Well, actually, I can. There's nothing going on there. Not even about what you're saying, just in general. There's nothing going on.
Well, that's true. Nothing going on there.